All right. So, Janice has, you have, your first session with me was November 29th, 2022.
Wow.
Been a while, over 3 years.
Hmm.
And then we did two series. So that's 8 sessions. And those were intensive. So weekly, 2 months in a row. So for 2 months, you met me every week. And so then it's been over a year since we have met. And so we started with you having skill, but not feeling like you were expressing yourself or super excited about it or finding your voice. And it was really interesting because I felt like you were just so ready. Like I just had to like blow the dust of self-doubt. And you were
Yeah.
like, oh yeah. Like you took off running from every suggestion I gave. It was really aligned. Um, so you worked on like you immediately knew what you wanted to do. And you had these ideas, but you hadn't let yourself do them. You were building process. You
Hmm.
were experimenting with new mediums or adding certain parts of process to old mediums. Um, you got really fun and really experimental and really you. We worked through some shadow where you realize you're like, I do want to stand out and be cute and,
Hmm. I still
get
think about that
attention.
talk, and I was telling a friend about it too. I'm like, do you know this idea about the shadow self?
I know you took it and I was like, you like completely integrated it and immediately put your true desire into action. And it was very cool to watch. Um, and then, so once you started really getting into a flow about creating work you're excited about and innovating work, then you started putting it out there immediately. So it was working on, well, we had to raise your prices. We had to
Yeah.
like stop settling for less or feeling lack. But then you were like, okay, I'm doing art fairs, I'm collaborating in my community, I'm designing frames. I'm still in love with the frames you design for things. They're so cool.
Oh, cool.
Also pulled up your um, website and stuff to show if you don't mind. Can I?
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
if this takes a while, we'll go over a few minutes. Here, some of the first experimental work. And so it's pastel on silver ground on a wood panel, and you were doing epoxy and you're
Hmm.
putting glitter in it, and
Hmm.
you were learning what it did to the pastels and how to
Hmm.
perfect it. And here it is epoxied, um, and different ones. Really fun. You really like let yourself loose with the expressiveness of it. And then here is your website. And I wanted to show this one. So what I ended up feeling like was you did some like groundbreaking, innovative compositions. So this is pastel and silver and gold leaf
Hmm.
and epoxy encasement. And
Right.
this composition was so good, I was jealous and inspired. And yeah, they're just so neat. You can see how shiny they are. And then here's an example of the framing, which I was talking about, but it's not even I mean, it's just beautiful framing. But where's the like big fat round ones?
If you go up, it's that green one on the second row.
Ah,
I
yes.
think that one.
Okay, yeah. Beautiful. And look at this, rounded, gorgeous, inset, like pastels. So the pastels that you didn't epoxy over in a more experimental way, you
Hmm.
framed like that. So I just kind of wanted to show a history.
I think part of that came from learning with you that like being an artist is not just about your technique, but it's also about your taste.
Mhm.
And once you've framed it that way, taste, in which I understand this word from an everyday point of view because I think about it all the time when I get dressed and
Hmm.
things like that. But I'd always thought of art and getting dressed as very separate.
Yeah.
And so once you mentioned taste, I was like, I have taste. I know what my taste is with clothing and getting dressed. And so I thought, oh, that's sort of locked in for me where it's like, oh, so I am going to make the choice about the frame. I'm not going to wait for someone else to do it. I'm curating
Yeah.
the whole experience for somebody.
And I have noticed that as I followed you online on Instagram over the past several years, like you curate your artwork in that way with your taste. And it's not just a portfolio or a glimpse of technique, right? It's your whole vibe is your aesthetic, is mood. And I really like that. So it's your experience because you enjoy food and tea and travel and you make clothes, right? And so it's all
Yeah.
in there, but it's um I know I'm watching you. It's weird,
No,
right?
I'm
But
so happy that, like it's the sort of thing I love doing. And I think about it so much. And I just wonder if anybody notices it.
oh, I noticed. I'm like, ooh, that's good. Um, yes, and to me it feels all cohesive. Like your vibe is cohesive throughout your experience, which to me is like a stress out of my shoulders from scrolling online amongst artists, right? Where like you just feel striving or trying or selling, and then you feel, this is a space I'm being invited into. Like I can learn from that. I have so many things going on. It's hard to create that for me. So I think it's really cool.
Thank you.
Um, so yeah, so I would say that's um my history. And then you wrote one line um that you are feeling stuck, smiley face.
Yeah. I'm like right back where, not quite right back, but I've gone in a little spiral where I'm like, oh, feeling like I'm in that same place again where I felt like I had explored some areas that I had wanted to explore. And then it felt like everything just wrapped up. And I thought, okay, wait, now what?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it wrapped up kind of cleanly. And I felt
Beautiful.
kind of like done with a lot of that stuff for now, at least. Um, and then I just have been I just rearranged the studio because I realized that I have this, big table that is great for meeting and like having people, but it was right in the middle of the room. And I thought, what is it doing here? I need to be making. So I pushed it over to the side. Now it's a space for it's almost like blocking the door at this point. And I thought, this is the right message to myself as well as
Hmm.
to other people. And now the majority of the studio is okay, easels, drawing horses, let's get more drawing surfaces in here as well, not just like being so precious with like, okay, you're working on these two paintings, you're gonna finish
Hmm.
the two paintings. It's like, now remember, what I worked on with you. And
So now
it's,
it seems like exploration
yeah,
as opposed to production,
yeah.
right? Like makes sense. So in the next like upcoming year, I was just thinking about this morning. There's a lot of air and fire energy. Well, in tropical astrology, Chinese astrology, there's fire horse. So that's a lot of like inspiration going for it, big action energy. But I follow those things. Um, I feel like it is a time to like dream things up. And it makes sense. Like after, like you only start sparking new things after you finish a cycle, right? So, it's definitely not your back, as you know, it's the spiral, right? Or
Hmm.
it's like you reached a plateau and it was how whatever length it was, and then there's a wall face in front of you again, and you're like, how do I get up there? You know,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
seems to be where you're at. Um, so that seems really positive. exploration over production right now. Um, okay. Anything else that you have to say to me?
It just, I feel like my head knows that's what I need to do, but my body feels so intent on producing.
Okay.
And I feel like afraid to, I've started a few pieces and now I
Mhm.
can, there are enough good parts where I'm like, I don't want to ruin it. I've fallen into that old habit of like, oh,
Okay.
I don't want to ruin it. And I'm like,
Okay.
ruin what? You haven't even, I can hear the two
Yeah.
voices, and one is the head, which is like, ruin what? You haven't even like go big or go home. You
Mhm.
haven't really pushed this one. But I can just feel it when I go to sit and work on it. I'm just being so painfully careful with it, and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, right? Anytime that you're wanting to grow, this is similar to the last session that I recorded in a way. So it makes sense, like people having the same issue in the same season. I like seeing those synchronicities. Um, she was her thing she wanted to do was to get more technique, and she left what she thought was good painting behind, like in her own power to get more technique. And then she didn't get it yet, but she looked back and she's like, I can't go back there. That wasn't actually good painting, but I'm not there yet. And now all I have is like crap. And I'm like, well, keep going. But like that's similar in the way that you're like, okay, I'm not charged up by my old work anymore. I have to find new work. And yet, like, it's uncomfortable to be in this unproven, unknown, like, void space of creation. I mean, it's completely normal. So, what do you do to exist in it? Is that what we need? Like, how do you manage? I mean, I would kind of call it, maybe, do you think have you rested? Like, did you, usually there's a big creative burst, which you had, and
Hmm.
then that carries on its own, right? You give it all your energy and then it has a life of its own. It interacts with other people. People buy it, people see it, you have collaborations. And then that cycle of energy like is spent. And then
Hmm.
there's rest.
Yeah, I think I got plenty of rest. I was like, I'm on summer vacation. This was last summer. And then
Okay,
I
okay,
quit my job. And then I was like, I'm going to New York.
okay.
And now it feels like, okay, we are back at the studio. It's,
So there was rest. Then usually after rest, and sometimes depending on like if you were working healthily before and you didn't work yourself to illness, right?
hmm.
Then rest and inspiration can be happening at once, right? A lot of times after a show, you need like true sick bed rest and then inspiration kind of exploration. So I don't know, like, have you been inspired for any new ideas? Like last time, do you have any ideas on the shelf which you haven't accessed yet?
I tried the old technique of the thing that got me going last time, where remember I had said, like, I have a really hard time working just out of my head.
Hmm.
And so you said, well, you take a million photos. So just go back through those. And is there anything there that feels like something you might want to paint? And so I did that. And I constantly am going through like really old photos too and being like, oh, yeah, there was that. And so I was saving them in a folder and then just pulling them all up. And there was one day where I said, okay, we're just going to draw all of these right now.
All of them
Like
right now?
just sketch them and see how they feel. Like, do they feel like something that you can carry forward with?
Okay. I'm
And
not sure all of them right now is a good idea.
there weren't that many. There
Okay.
weren't that many. But I thought, okay, let's just do little thumbnails of each and see just how you feel. We won't know anything until you've done something and stopped just keeping it all in here. And then so I guess that was sort of where I was. starting, and some of them made it onto bigger canvases. But um, I don't know. Now they feel stuck again.
Mm. How exactly did they get stuck?
Remember that note that I had written on Instagram, and I was like, if you don't work out your composition ahead of time, you're screwed.
Yes, I meant to mention that.
Yeah.
Why I literally have why are you in trouble? Exclamation point here.
Because
So just
now
with
it's like
yourself.
you've got like pieces that you like in it, but you didn't really figure out the stuff around it. And so you've sort of like really nailed in parts of it and you want to keep those. But the rest of it is not, you don't know what's going on there because
Do you not have you not figured it out yet, or are you not interested to figure it out?
hmm, I don't really understand that part. Not
Okay.
interested.
So for me, the north on the compass while I'm creating is my engagement and interest.
Mm-hmm.
And um, sometimes I will like I started last year with like a big idea here and cemented it too tightly and ended up starting a bunch of ambitious paintings that were more intellectual or conceptual than interesting to me and engaging. And when I know I'm going in the wrong direction for me when it starts to be taxing or a responsibility or like dragging, you know, when I'm painting something I'm super interested in, it's just fun. I mean, some days I
Mm,
might be a little more tired. It's not
mm-hmm.
always Disneyland, but
Mm-hmm.
I have curiosity and it's leading me.
Mm-hmm.
I have delight in discovery because I'm
Mm-hmm.
interested in what I'm doing. Um, and so what I'd say is you got interested in small parts, is what it sounds like. And then something happened. And so what I would suggest is to ask yourself, why do you have to finish it? What is finish? Like, I mean, I may be becoming very avant-garde as a painter in my way of thinking, or at least as a representational painter, probably not as a painter in general in the world. But I now think that paintings are the leavings, the byproduct of the artist's journey, the experience. They're sparkly, like, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a lucky kind of byproduct. But I feel like this is the painting of me going forward when I'm tired or lost or confused. And it got half done, whatever that is. No, it's done because it's an imprint of my experience. And that's way more interesting than something I finished to a
Mm.
prior agreed a point degree of finish
Yeah.
for something.
Yeah.
Um, I guess like kind of radical curiosity and acceptance about where you are and not like abandoning ambition at all, but like supporting, like, I don't know, just being so curious about yourself and so supportive of yourself. So
Mm.
I would say, okay, if you got a couple good starts, were they on paper?
They were on wood.
Okay, maybe for now, work on paper
Okay.
so that you can do the post composition, the post completion composition is um, what I like about working on paper because I can crop it
Ah,
and
yeah.
and I don't have to force myself to fill an arbitrary rectangle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I really like just keep continually saying yes to myself,
Mm-hmm.
like letting the pressure off because if I do that to such a degree, then I also may feel relaxed enough to put it back on, like of
Yeah.
my own, right? Kind of removing any outside pressure, getting in my little safe nest and being like, you don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay. You know? I don't know.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even from our earlier meetings, I did already think like these are the byproducts of a process. It's not that I came here to cover this canvas end to end.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna turn a
yeah.
light on because
Okay.
I think it's getting dark in here. I'll probably be less attractive. But oh well.
Yeah, I really want to be playful again. And I remember that feeling. And I'm like, how am I feel so like stiff as soon as I start working. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel playful anymore. What's going on?
Okay, but then the interesting thing would to be like I feel stiff. Series one, two, three. Like
Oh,
lean into stiff
yeah,
work. Like
yeah,
use it. Like that's
yeah,
fascinating to me. I want you to be like, oh, I feel awkward. I feel pissed. I feel stiff. I feel disappointed in myself. What's that work look like?
yeah.
And it's really mastering your circumstances and making interesting art as an interesting artist to be able to navigate existence in your expression, the complexity of it.
Yeah, and then it could be that in trying to make the work expressive of stiffness, it's like, oh my gosh, it's getting so playful. There we go.
As long as you're not attached to that outcome, it won't
Yeah,
happen if you are.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I've been finding a lot more spaciousness and balance between structure and flow these days because initially I was all structure and pressure, no self-care, just accomplish, right? And then that was all reactive, right? Out of fear. What'll happen if I don't succeed? But then the pendulum swung and it was like nothing matters. But that's not great either. But I kind of was so learned to be so much nicer to myself in that point, like from that period of that pendulum swing, that now, like the other day, I went to the studio on a day I was sad. Like I had like a bad thing with my sister, and but I had limited time, so I went and I just was like able to paint while holding space for it not feeling fun and being like, this is just a sad painting day. Whatever you get done is fine. And so I was able to contain my complex reality while accomplishing something with no pressure. And that to me feels like ninja level
Mm.
amazing skill that I've taught myself through the big rocking back and forth. So I I like just accepting where you are. And if you can't accept where you are with structure, accept it with no structure. Right. You know what I mean? Just observe. That's the most important thing, not react if you
Do
can.
you, is there anything that like you don't want to have rules about things, but is there anything where you're like, but absolutely, I always do this one thing, like, but I always go into the studio, even if I don't tell myself I have to, finish a
No,
painting or,
no, actually. I have paid for my studio and not gone in for chunks of a hard year. you know? I guess I always pay for my studio and keep that space for myself, even when I'm not being productive. That's something I always do. I always honor what I am, what I what I value in my experience making art, being an artist, having that journey, even if I can't show up as whatever the best version of that right now.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean, hmm, I think that what I'm always doing these days is more like less pressure, less pressure, less pressure, um, to clear the way so I can see what I actually want. Like how it's actually really freeing to me at this point to be like, I don't know where this is going. And I don't know if all of my ambitions were interesting or if they were someone else's. And
Hmm.
I'm curious because I like what I create and I think I'm good at it. And I think I could be more interesting with it and better. I'm curious to see what I can do. I'm curious to see how the universe will meet me in that. And it feels really exciting to be like, what could that even look like that I don't know? So just this curiosity and self-love, honestly. It's not a tips from the masters kind of a situation. Here's one pro tip that can make sure you get
Yeah.
work churned out. I mean, I can give you tips to make sure you're churning work out. Let's see. Let me try to come up with some for fun.
Okay. Okay.
Um, if producing work is the most important thing, I heard this one, which is very good for learning and practicing. So if you know who said it, um, just make seven of them. Just make seven of them. Whatever it is, just make seven. Make a series. Just pick one subject and keep doing it. That is good. It just depends on what structures or lack of structure is going to help you where you are now. So maybe you
Yeah.
figure out exactly where you are because when you're learning and you're making bad painting, you need to make 17,000 of them,
Yeah.
right? But me right now, I'm not going to make seven of anything. Like, I'm not interested in it. Like, ugh,
Yeah.
I'd rather teach,
Yeah.
not wait tables.
Yeah.
Um, so what do we think you need? You want to produce something.
Yeah. I'm feeling like producing something. Doesn't mean, I feel like that will be this like pressure relief for me where I feel like everything is just inside. Like I can feel it. I can feel it. It just hasn't come out at all.
But
Um,
besides old pictures, which
mhm,
may be great because the way I get my reference has remained the same for a long time. So in this new phase, the way you get your reference could be the same, but might not be, depending on
mhm.
exactly the artist you are and how you evolve. Some people jump around a lot more than I do. Um, Besides those, which are giving you a little inspiration, but not a lot from what I'm seeing,
Mhm.
like, is there anything else that you want to make? Like, what do you want to produce? What are these things that you want to produce looking like? Or you don't know, and that's why you can't go forward?
I think they're like a little rougher. They're what I really enjoyed about learning from the last two pieces that I made were the beginnings of mark making that were not reliant on a subject. So it had started with a source image. And then
Hmm.
as I kept working and I played the same song in my headphones over and over, I could just feel like, no, this part does not need those items. And I like, wiped them out. And I thought, oh, I'm starting to understand what it feels like to just make marks that are what the painting needs, not what I thought I wanted to put on it. And
Okay.
then focusing just on the thing. And it was like without really realizing it, I had just been like messing with it, just looking at it. And so I thought, oh, this is the opening to some like a new portal in my life. Um,
It probably is. It just doesn't look like how you expect it to look. Like you
yeah.
want to, when you feel that opening, you want to be like, don't pet that cat. Like, don't be like, now you live with me and
Oh.
here's your collar and you will eat fancy feast. Like it's a cat. It's an
Mm,
opening, right? It's a, it's like a new inspiration, something that wants to collaborate with you, but like you don't know what it is if you try to contain it too soon.
hmm.
My friend Chelsea said something like, which I think is regular knowledge, but it sounded profound to me. Don't try to analyze while you're creating.
Mm,
Just create, let that be a one directional energy. And then later, when you've exhausted that push, then be like, oh, I kind of understand. Then you can analyze. Um, So it sounds to me that you got into an intuitive flow, like
yeah.
a conversation with the work, and intuitive in the way that you could feel what felt good to you when you were doing it. Spirit ear. You can, you could, um, what I was thinking when that happened was I have gotten into flow with work where mostly mine happens with commission where like a character will tell me where there's something wrong. Like I felt a message from a character and it said the girl's hand and I looked and I needed to paint it better. But like
Mm,
things like that where you're having like a real back and forth energetic experience with your work and it's like no, not here. Yes, over here. This feels good. That's great. So the fact that you have the kind of expressive access there to explore and flow is good. Um, so we need to find a way to, uh, this is learned from meditation. So we need to allow that energy to be received, not go get it. Like you cannot grab flow. You can only receive and let flow through you. It's like water energy, feminine energy kind of stuff, right? So
hmm.
what is the environment in which you can open yourself up to that?
Yeah. I was thinking, well, so this is another reason I rearranged the studio was I looked at it one day and I was like, it is too neat in here. Of course I feel really stiff. Like I'm trying to keep everything in its place. I think it needs more mess. So like I feel it's natural. I feel like everything's already, it's so playful when it's messy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I am trying to like create the space that I think will be conducive to this sort of the way I want to be working.
Okay, so then what I just like my inspiration from that is that the energy of messy could also have other words. That's a sidebar. Um, but might be interesting to explore. Is going to maybe could be several layers deep in your desire and could be no, it could be something you desire and like playing with it could be several layers deep in your experience. Yes, having a messier studio could be interesting, but also how else can you access that energy of, you know, diagonal instead of parallel or um, free flow instead of scheduled? What can so what I have written here is games and intuition. So, like, if you have a thought that messy might be interesting, then where else in your life can you experiment, like as a creator, right? So you're like, your structure is the experiment about the messiness. So if you always come to the studio at the same time, stop.
Hmm.
If you always eat the same thing for breakfast, stop. Mess up your outfit, make your bangs more crooked. They're lovely, but we like a little crooked. Um, I don't know. That's my thought. Like,
Hmm.
and maybe you
Yeah.
do that for a couple days and you're like, that's not it. It wasn't messy. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is that, but just since you were curious about messy.
Yeah. I was like, is it that I don't open the shades when I'm working in here? Because I'm so used to like, okay, we open up, I do the same thing. I come, I sweep, I open the shades, da, 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 da. Is it that I like come in super early in the morning when it's like quiet in the neighborhood? I don't know. So yeah,
Okay, so you're
okay.
kind of already having that thought about doing
Yeah.
things differently. Um, yeah, I think something between radical acceptance for what you're feeling and when you want to stop. Also, like with the aesthetic that you like and what you're describing, you're seeing messier, um, more free, right? Less finished. I can so relate to that. Like, I am finally starting to see some of my painting be what I was inspired by 10 years ago, but way too scared to do.
Hmm.
And I mean, it just takes internal trust to continue to let go if you're kind of becoming more expressionist or abstract in your work. Um, so just accepting with curiosity where you stop. Mm, it's pretty like abstract expressionist, right? Aren't they all just, well, I don't know anything about abstract expressionists, but I imagine the romance of it all. I have this feeling and this impulse and I do it, right?
Yeah.
Waiting for the feeling and the impulse is what I've
Right.
kind of noticed. Sounds
Yeah.
so sexy.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, is it like, do I need to be working on the floor instead? Maybe I need to set up one that's like on the floor and the pastels are around because I'm so used to sitting upright and,
Hmm.
painting this way. And I thought, oh, maybe, I don't know. And then it's like you got to find a place for the pastels to sit and they don't roll off the table. And you've got one cart here and this, and everything's organized. And,
Okay. Yeah.
oh,
Well, I mean, I think that you should write every one of these suggestions down, put your
yeah,
tiny little box, and check them off as you try them. I
yeah.
doubt you need to do all of them unless, of course, chaos is what you need. And you'll know pretty soon if it's inspiring you after you do three or four of them or tiring you, and that's not it. And you're just desperately trying to force something to happen that
Hmm.
doesn't want to be forced through that.
Yeah.
Um, Oftentimes, I reach a new level of freedom in my work when I exhaust myself and have to surrender because nothing I was trying to force works. Like, I, I wish that I was someone who was just like, oh, remember last time you surrendered, it was good, just surrender. But please, take my advice. Don't follow my example. And like I have to get depressed and be like, well, it doesn't matter anyways, and then I do something new, right? Like, so what is that
Yeah.
energy? That energy is like taking off all of the danger, all of it. So I guess you could try to do that consciously by identifying the danger that's making you stuck, you know?
Wait, trying to take off all the danger?
Okay. So okay, when I can't, when I'm doing something that I'm not that interested in, I feel like there's something else I want to do, but it like for me, it's usually in one direction, more free, more expressive, more
Hmm.
experimental. But I have a hard time sometimes doing that because it's new. It's
Hmm.
untested. I don't know what it will look like. I'm supposed to stop there. Um, but oftentimes I have gotten to those places when I don't know, I exhausted myself by trying everything else and there's nothing else to try, and I'm depressed and literally surrender out of exhaustion instead of out of choice. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you're not doing something you want to do,
Hmm.
there's something you're protecting yourself from. You're taking a safe route.
Yeah.
So if you can identify what the danger is,
Hmm.
then you can choose without having to beat yourself into a pulp until you're dead and then surrender to just decide to let go of that fear or to do it while holding that fear.
Yeah.
So you get the concept.
Yeah.
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 Now, the other thing, and this is maybe a pro tip from the masters. um, I have found a lot of luck when I don't have the energy to finish something and just not finishing it. And I think at that point, this is crap. But then I come in a few days later and I'm like, so glad I left that.
Hmm.
I'm going to leave it more. I'm going to start another one. I'm going to leave it. So it's like constraining the amount of time that you work on something. For me, it's not arbitrary, it's based on my energy. So, but I have many paintings that I like that have much more brevity because I stopped in a way where I was like defeated, but then was appreciative of that stopping point.
Hmm.
I guess that's a similar story, but it's just in the micro.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, the next level, the next plateau is going to be harder and require a lot more responsibility of self-empowerment, right? Like the first time you individuate, it's like you have wind on your back and you have the hopefulness of the promise of like your first emergence. And
Hmm.
I feel like when you keep doing it, for it to keep becoming more profound, you really have to master yourself more and more, right? It's not as much, I don't know, that's what I found. Like it's the next level requires like more awareness of what you want and who you are. Does that make sense? Or am I going off on a
Mm,
too
I
much
think I need
theory?
like specifics.
Okay, an example.
Is it like because you've already tried so much and
I
the first time was,
I think it's because you're refining,
yeah.
right? So let's say our voice is like this bulb, this light or a gem inside of us. And like, no, I want to go the other way with this analogy. Um, I think when you're starting to discover you don't know yourself that well. And so a lot of things are interesting. But as you've probably experienced, painters that you liked, you don't like anymore. Things,
Hmm.
fashion that you liked, you're not interested anymore. What
Hmm.
I found is in creating art, for me, my voice keeps refining and becoming more clear to me what I'm about, what I like, what is true for me.
Yeah.
And so as you keep going towards like the truer part of yourself, more things become eliminated and you
Yeah.
become more particular and more identifiable as you. So I think it does take more self-knowledge and self-mastery um, to block out any outside expectations and to be true to your desires. I think that's what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that's the path of like the artist in the way of artist philosophy, and this path is a philosopher's path to me. If you're going on the path of like, I make craft to sell as a business, then you don't need
Right.
to do that.
Right.
You need a smart idea that you can produce easily at
Hmm.
an attractive price for
Yeah.
your people.
Yeah.
Either one is fine.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's heavy. It's like big, big
Yeah.
ideas. It's not cute ideas.
Yeah. But it's good to have two places to start in like making lists and exploring that and um,
Yeah. I
then
think
just trying them out. I think I really responded to that sort of like experiment. You know, we almost like formalized the experiments last time where it's like, oh, you have this one idea. Okay, what are the things you need for that? Boom, 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 boom. Great. You're not sure about size? Great. Try 10 sizes. Boom, boom. And
right.
then, like actually having a plan and it gave my mind somewhere to focus. So I wasn't
Okay.
focusing on the creative part. I was sort of just like putting my body in these different positions to see what felt good almost.
Mhm. Okay.
And then I think that's how I had hit upon where the good where the nice like magical part felt where it's like, oh, okay, I've tried these. I didn't know I would hate those tiny ones so much, but as soon as I, tried drawing on it, I was like, oh God, this is too small. And then it was like, great, easily eliminated. You like this portion here and you like working there and you like those colors and
Well, do you think, I mean, have you tried that again where you're just working on process and not thinking about content or aesthetics? Because it seems like your
uh
desire is aesthetic.
yeah, yeah, I think, but things like, okay, make a list of all the things you can change about your schedule, your all this stuff, and actually writing it down so that I have a sort of more, I don't know, that sort of stuff is like a little bit comforting to me where it's like making a
Okay.
list.
So
Great.
what else can you experiment on? I think we have to like know what the seed of the desire is before we describe the experiment, but um
I
what
think because I'm,
go ahead.
yeah, go on.
Go ahead. No, no, no. You go.
I think because I'm feeling, I think it's really clear when I look at my Instagram grid sometimes. I'm like, you love this moody, like weirdo thing going on. And like, I think that's like really it's like magical and sparkly, but like moody and like
Mm-hmm.
solitary
Mm-hmm.
but mystical somehow. And, it's like, but then, so maybe is it, I don't know, you work through the night instead, or there are like
Ooh.
candles. You like candles in here. Or like, I brought the ferns in from home partly because I killed them at home with the heater on. But it's like now you have these like wilder plants in here that are you're not just pushing towards the window, but like bring them into the studio, work with them sitting next to you. I don't know. Do you need to
I like
have like
that.
harpsichord music playing? What is it?
Okay, but I love all of this. So you want mood in your, so are you not feeling like your work is as moody as you'd like it to be?
Correct. Correct.
Are
I
you
looked at this thing that I was like, oh, I think it's going good. And then I came in the next day and I thought, oh my God, it's so stiff. I didn't notice that last night. I was just like getting really, it was like all the lines were so straight and crisp. And I thought,
Mhm.
what happened to all where did all the go?
For me,
Uh-huh.
I don't, I try not to judge how they're coming out in that
Mm-hmm.
way because I feel like it's faster to go through
Mm.
than to be like, no, and not go through, no, and not go through. So just be like, again, like I was saying before, just be like, these are stiff, these are stiff, these are stiff. This
Mm-hmm.
is fine. I have to go through 8 stiff paintings to get a loose one.
Mm.
I'm worth it. Um, but um, I like the idea of adding the mood. That feels also to me like a time of searching for inspiration. So if you're
Mm.
going to do that in your studio, I'd also say maybe go to other places and search mood, right? Take something with you and like go to a cemetery. I don't know how on the nose you want to
Mm-hmm.
get, but it's foggy. It's foggy in San Francisco.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, um, take some pictures. Like
Yeah.
go on a reference hunt through the city for mood. Um, because if it's all just trying to create the perfect thing for you to do production, are you even in mood?
Right.
Or are you just trying to force mood?
Right.
So, more searching for inspiration. After the resting time, we still need input. Um, more allowing whatever comes out, I'd say, and just being like, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
this is my baby. It has a birthmark over its whole face, and I love it,
Yeah.
and so should you. Um, is that a dark thing to say? Probably. Yeah, sorry. Um, and do make lists, but like make the lists like elvish, peevish little experiments. Like, okay, so do I need chaos? Do I need messiness? What's 5 ways I can put that into my day, or 3 ways, or 5 ways into my week? And like get silly with that. Um, and what else? Like, what do you think produces freedom and mood in a painting? What do you think? What do we think it is? When it's happened to you, what was it? What you're envisioning that hasn't happened to you? What are your assumptions about it? What do you think?
I think it comes out when I'm like, this piece doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. And there was one where I thought, oh, is it that my canvases are too big? And I'm just like getting like, oh my God, I paid for this thing and let's draw on this scrap instead. And I made this tiny, like, I I made this tiny painting of like a baby with balloons around it. And I was like, I love this thing. It is so delightful. It's just
Hmm.
like so sketchy, but it feels, I don't know, it just feels like rich and fun and funny also, which I like because I don't know, it should be weird and funny and like, what is that? I'm like, I don't know, but I spent some time on it.
Yeah, one of my favorite ones of the last couple of years was literally like my feet and the black and white tiled floor and every weird color of something in the bathroom.
Mm,
But it's a 6 by 8. And it's literally a photo I
uh,
took with my phone while I'm sitting on the toilet. And
yeah.
no one gets it, but it's literally my favorite painting of the past several years. It's really me. And I can't help but just like oohing and eyeing over it when I see it. I don't even know exactly why I love it so much yet.
Yeah.
That's still to be determined. So,
Yeah.
but it was small and I did it in one sitting.
Yeah.
And I have an idea about big paintings. I haven't
Hmm.
really gone back to them. I wonder if they will come back. I don't know. So, um, if you don't care, it's hard to not care if you're trying to not care.
Yeah.
How can we, again, that is just what I told you about identifying what you're actually afraid of and then like being aware of it is probably the most masterful way to not care. Um, but maybe going to Land's End on a windy day and trying to do a pastel, you can't
Hmm.
do a good job.
Right. Right.
Maybe experiment with like,
Right.
how can I simulate the circumstance of not caring so I can get a good painting? Like that is
Yeah.
super fun, conceptual,
You're
like
like painting on
game.
the bus. Let's go.
Right. But see, I feel like that kind of humor and intelligence in your process could be just what like loosens you up
Hmm.
to not to like, because there's not caring, but there's also mastering your emotions,
Hmm.
right? You can get to the point where you don't need to not care anymore to do you, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a good thing to work towards. But while we're getting there, we can have some silly plans to check off the
Hmm.
list. Though,
Can I
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
can I go to the bathroom really quick?
Yes, of course. I'll pause.
Secretly been wanting to incorporate figures more, and I just like don't even I don't know how.
Oh, interesting. Me too. I have that
Oh,
desire. Um, that's always interesting in there. Um,
and when I see certain other paintings, I'm like, oh, that's how. That's perfect. And I'm like, but how?
like what? Can you think of?
Just like really casual positions. I think I had brought up this artist before during our cohort meetings. There was that guy Ruprecht von Kaufmann. And I just
Mm,
like how sort of everyday nonchalant the figures are. And it reminds me of figure drawing when you got like a really good model who wasn't doing some like grandiose pose. They're really just like
yeah.
quietly looking over to the side and like that's that's it, that sort of thing. And sort of
Mm,
like the feel of the figure and then little details, like maybe their little pinkies are linked or something, something like that where it's like,
okay,
ooh,
so this is what I was asking for in the beginning. So I'm glad we got here. Like, what
took a
other like
bathroom break to
what other desires like are floating in there that you haven't
Mm,
attempted yet, right? Maybe that's what you need. You need fuel on the fire of like another thing to solve,
mm,
another challenge, right? Um, I mean, obviously look through your reference and see if you have anything with like a figure casually wafting through a dark, moody room of whimsical, slightly humorous despair. But um, but also experiment with how you can get that subject matter
yeah,
if you want to do observational painting.
yeah,
um, I definitely have had a lot of ups and downs with like hiring models and trying to find a way to take reference in a way that is my voice, and I haven't yet. I don't know if I can. I think I'm at the
mm,
point where I'm like, I really like a found photo in my experience. And I don't, even if I have them in my clothes in my house, like I still am like, it wasn't real. It
it was
wasn't a
too,
real
yeah,
moment that I happened upon and was inspired by. So it doesn't work for me.
yeah,
But if you're amongst people in the world, you can, you know, grasp someone on the bus or someone in a cafe or something like that.
hmm,
Or self portraits can be really interesting in that way Do you have like a camera, a tripod, and a timer? Or I guess our iPhones do this, and you can just
Yeah.
use that. I was thinking very romantically with one of those cords and the
Yeah,
squeezy
and like
hands
a
thing.
drop. Yeah. 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 I mean, I'm like, I also take so many selfies, outfit photos or whatever. There's got to be something in there that's like, was a bad photo, but a great reference.
Yes, but also I feel excited. You don't have to, but by the idea of like you setting up like many photos in a dark, moody room and walking through it
Hmm.
in some way, or when you're in a dark, moody mood, like feel that and see what it looks like, or something
Hmm.
like that. Like experiment with that. That could be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it'll go anywhere, but
I had also thought a long time ago, now I'm only just remembering. I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to do like bathtub paintings where,
okay.
like I take baths a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I also do a lot of things like I'll like eat in the bathtub and
Mm-hmm.
I'll put like plates float. So you
Mm-hmm.
really can take your like beautiful plates and put some cherries in it and just lie there. And,
Like
it's like such a,
ceramic plates float?
yeah,
No way.
it's like I have this like plate bowl and it floats. And I had like a bunch of cherries and I was like, huh, you can have like this party in here. It's very funny. You can do all sorts of
Okay,
activities
okay.
in
See,
here.
so, what is bringing these inspirations, ideas, and desires up to the front is your conversation with me about making art. So that's also, do you have any more artist peers that you can like brainstorm about making art with?
No.
Mm. Well,
Just you.
uh, well, maybe come for a studio visit.
I would love that. I
Um,
love your space. It's so moody and romantic. All those flights of stairs. It's like going to the top of the cathedral, you know?
I agree. I call it like the tower.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the last studio on the line and no one walks through it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like Rapunzel-y,
Yeah.
except I locked myself in. And I cut my hair off. Do not enter. Um, okay, that's what I have got. Any other questions before we sign off?
No. That, okay. Yeah, that felt really good and felt like, oh yeah. I was like, I could painfully try to figure this out myself, or I could do it the fun way and just sign up with Felicia.
Aw. Well, I'm glad you did. It's fun for me too, always inspiring. And so, if I were to give you homework, which I'm not, to sum it up, it's experiment like in an intense, fun way about all of our theories about messiness, about moodiness. I like messiness and moodiness as two. We could stop there. I would love for you to start taking selfies, bath selfies,
Hmm.
room selfies. I'm like imagining you like silhouetted walking through a room in something flowy or nothing. Honestly, that
Hmm.
is what I'm imagining. Um, I'd like to see that. And then just mixing up like awkward places to make paintings. I think that's a super fun idea. Like, where can I be uncomfortable?
Yeah.
All right. Nice talking to you.
Good talking to
Let me
you.
know.